Hello, everybody. Welcome to Health and Soul Real Talk with Norma
I'm
and
Pat. Good
this
morning.
and Pat. And I'm Norma. And
It is going
good
awesome. I hope
morning.
it's going awesome for
How's it
everyone
going?
else today. We're going to have a 3-day weekend, Labor Day, for folks at work. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, none at all. How about
Yes. That'll
you?
be nice. Do you have any special plans? No, I think I'm going to go down to
Leberfest.
Idlewild
That's
Park
probably
and
what we
check
might
out
do too as well. Yeah, I
Laborfest.
didn't. I
That's
didn't
what
go
I'm going to
last year,
do.
so I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe we might go out to the playa. I think we are
Mm-hmm.
going to go out to the playa after this. We're just going to go out and take a drive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Today, yeah.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
If we do, we go park our
Do
car
you
on the
check out
side
the
of the
artwork?
road and walk over there. but yeah, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
that and look and people watch and see all the stuff that's out there because folks should be leaving now.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, yeah, should almost be over. So folks are going to be leaving. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just check it out.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, enjoy. Have a safe
I
drive.
will. I will.
And
I will.
and when you come back, give us all the juicy details. Okay. So today's topic we're going to discuss. Um, I love the
Yes.
way you put it, Pat. Outside influences. When someone's starting with a personal trainer, or when
Yeah.
someone's starting a new fitness program or a new Zumba program. So I know as a personal trainer, sometimes, and the reason why this came up is because there's a client
Okay.
who is in my Anything But the Gym program. And what's going on is the husband, while she's doing the exercises, is telling her that she should be doing certain things. Like, you need to be building muscle. That's what he's been kind of telling her. And I'm telling them that it's not a muscle building program. It is a boost program, meaning that it's meant to get you conditioned and then you go into the muscle,
uh
because
Push-ups. Okay.
what was it? It was planks. No, push-ups, push-ups. The client was able to do the wall push-ups, but when she
Okay.
went onto her knees, she couldn't do 4 modified push-ups. So, you gotta condition yourself before you get to that. If you can't
Yeah.
do the 4, then you gotta condition some other way, which is the wall. Then you move
Okay.
to the modified push-ups on the ground, and then
Okay.
you start progressing and you might move to the regular push-ups where your legs and toes are out. And it was just an interesting conversation with her. So I was wondering, do you see that when you
Yeah,
teach
but
Zumba?
not
Do you
so
see
much
the
because it's
outside
interesting. These
influences coming
folks,
in?
they really, really want to be there most of the time. But then again, sometimes in the background you'll hear because I know with my husband because he comes to my class as well. Yeah, he'll kind of sometimes tell me, "Well, you need to do this instead of that." I say, "Well, you want to be the teacher?" No, but no, they kind of
Yeah.
want the instruction, but I could see where very well that could happen. And so sometimes maybe to combat that is maybe which the client could do is ask that individual to come to come work out with them. And it'd be interesting to see if they could even do
Hmm.
what they're telling their significant other to do, or, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times folks will say, you need to do this, or
Yeah.
start doing this before you do that, and they can't even do it right, but they're going to tell you.
Hmm.
So it's very, very
Right.
interesting, you know because as you were saying, you're going to build up to something. You just don't start at that place to get there. You have to build up to it sometimes. So I think that maybe an invitation and say,
Yes.
hey, why don't
Yeah.
you come try this and try working out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a conversation, and
Yeah.
it was just a educational part about how, when you're doing a fitness program,
Right.
how it works. If you haven't
Yes.
done anything for a while, you're just you're out of shape. You're out of shape, and you might think that certain things might work, but it's not time for that. it's not time for that exercise yet. So when it comes to exercising, certain
Yeah.
exercises you just have to build up to. You're not going to immediately do a high intensity exercise when you've been sitting for the last 3 years.
Certainly.
Like that's recipe for disaster. That's recipe for injury. That's recipe for um,
Yeah.
on a personal training
Yeah.
thing, lawsuits. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Certainly
and
not.
we're trying to not go there. So, so, as a personal trainer, it's like, we do have people doing certain things
Right.
because of your fitness level. And it's not that we don't think that you can do it. It's just there's certain fitness levels and there's certain assessments. And like, yeah, if someone's unable to do the easiest
Yeah.
move, then yeah, you just got to build into it. So yeah, that was, and then I was speaking to my husband
Hmm.
about it. He told me about he knows a couple personal trainers, and he was talking about how a couple of them have had to check certain people who come in from the outside with their clients because of the fact that
Right.
they're trying to create this goal for
Right.
the client. We've set this plan in place, right? And when you have outside
Right.
influences coming in, that can torpedo a plan. So
Right.
it's just something that you see in the personal training field where there are outside influences that
Yeah,
come in, and
certainly. And I
um,
think probably the
it can
strategy to
torpedo a
keep
plan.
everybody
It
on
really
point and
can.
on check maybe sometimes is, I don't know, and I know this is what you do too. Sometimes you have to write it down, and you put the reason and then the why
Hmm.
behind it. Right. This is the reason why we are doing it this way, because
Yeah.
we don't want to see the injury.
Hmm.
Okay, you might have been out of shape. You just started doing the exercise
Yeah.
program and starting to work out, and no, your body's just not there yet, and you're gradually going to do that. So, I mean, I think what the clients can do and what the person can do sometimes is go back and perhaps educate that individual that, hey, you know what? Did you know I haven't done this in a long time. I'm just starting. Give me a chance. It's going to get there. It's just going to take a moment. I haven't worked out maybe in a year or 2 years. Maybe I'm just starting out. So no, I'm not going to be able to go into that sit up or that crunch or that,
Hmm.
that press, what have you, until, because I don't expect folks, when I'm teaching my fitness classes,
Yeah.
you know, there's no way. Yeah, I've been doing this for 12 years, maybe even longer.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I could do this. I could probably do Zumba every day, 3, 4
Hmm.
hours a day, every day. And my body would be fine with it. But I've been doing this.
Hmm.
My body's totally used to it. Right. So, and it knows almost every
Oh yeah.
step that we're
Yeah.
doing. But if you're starting off with an exercise
Hmm.
program, that your muscles are not going to be your cores, core. And I tell folks, when we're breathing and doing our core workout and exercises, the reason we're doing that, without the core, your body's just going to fall. The muscles don't, they just, nothing works. So you got it. There's a starting point
Yeah.
for everything. And yeah. And so,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And it's a matter of trust too.
yeah,
So the personal
yeah,
training and client relationship, if you trust your personal trainer, trust us.
yeah,
We trust that we know what we're doing. At least certified personal trainers trust that we know what we're doing because we we've been doing it for a minute. So well, some of us have been doing it for a minute, but trust, because
yeah,
and it does take a minute to build trust. Relationships are about trust.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
hard to build trust when there's an outside influence coming in and putting that miss
Hmm.
putting that
How do you think we can
suspicion in between
combat
there.
that? What would be a
So
solution for, a
that's
client that you have or someone that we have? How do we think we could combat, or maybe how would we strategize getting that out of someone's head, How would we do that? Yeah, I don't know.
like creating trust. Yeah, I usually trust is about
Hmm.
when you're building a relationship, it's about actions and seeing, excuse me, seeing
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
someone would they do what they say. For me, a big part of trusting somebody is seeing that someone says they're going to do something, and then that person does
Okay.
it, and then that is like a building block of trust. So, when it comes to personal
Hmm.
training,
Yeah.
I think it just takes time because, you know, when you're starting something and when you let people know it's
Wow.
going to take
That's a
at least 3 to
long
6 months to
time.
see real true change, that's
That's
a
a
long
long
waiting
time.
period. You know, that's a long waiting period. And then people also build trust by
Right. Hmm.
so usually the personal trainer is recommended by somebody else. So there's that trust kind of bridge that's from their friend that recommended the
Hmm.
personal trainer. So I mean that helps with it. If someone's recommended to you,
Yeah.
then you kind of have that friend who's vouching for that person. And then they kind of it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, I'll give it a chance. Otherwise, it's just a natural trust building exercise, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's just going to take
But
a while
for
depending
the
on the
outside
goals.
influence,
So
how could we
yeah.
bring them in perhaps maybe to, so to get them out of that, because you got that outside influencer that's in that
Yeah,
person's head, right?
have them.
And so you're telling, your client what you're supposed to do, or we're telling the folks what to
Mhm.
do, our clients what to do. But then we got that outside voice over there. It's kind of, and with the chatter in the background. So I'm wondering how can we, I don't know could we tell our clients about that, or because like I said, building the trust is the
I
one thing, and tell them, hey, you could go back and tell the individual that I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to.
I I don't, yeah, especially it's really hard because
Yeah,
it's especially when it's a significant other. It's like that's that
yeah,
person's husband, wife, whatever they might be in their life. So I don't know,
yeah,
other than inviting that
yeah.
person, come on and do a exercise, do one of the workouts with them.
Right.
And see how you, like you were
Yeah,
saying earlier, see how you
and
do in that
yeah.
situation.
It's hard. And it's not to
Um,
embarrass them or anything
I
like that or put them on the spot.
yeah,
I think
that
it's to try to put them in that space so they can see,
mm-mm,
oh, wow, it isn't as easy as what I might have said. You know what I'm saying? And I would
yeah,
hope that those folks have that relationship with their
yeah,
significant other, that it wouldn't be that threatening. I mean, I know with my husband, because like I said, it'll be 41 years and
yeah.
29 days because our anniversary is on the 30th. Girl, honey, yeah, we counting down to
You got the
that.
days countdown. Wow.
I know it's pretty crazy, and so, but that's part of,
Oh,
it keeps us from being still because I'm quite sure he's cognizant of it. He just went out now to get some stuff for breakfast, but September 30th is our day, and it's going to be
mhm,
41 years, but we have that report because, like I said, he does almost
uh-huh.
everything with me. Like the other night when I was out, it's an anomaly for him not to be with me, so because we are always together, but
Mm,
so he would not feel threatened because we have that rapport and that conversation with each other that we can do that. And of course, he would do it perfectly because he does everything perfect. It just gets on my
mhm.
nerves. But that's when I think he says always every sport, everything it's pretty cool, and I know that, and so I'm secure with that. But other folks might not have that kind of relationship. So I would think, like the invitation and say, hey, maybe just come check us out, see what we're doing. Low key, you can sit over there on the side, maybe. Or if you want to
Mhm.
join, come on in and join, when you feel comfortable. I know that you know how to do that as well. And because sometimes for spouses, I could see where it could be very, very, or a significant other, it could be difficult bringing that person into their space, and because a lot of times you do have that the
Mhm.
naysayers, and sometimes they don't want to, not on purpose, but sometimes on purpose. They don't want to see somebody succeed and get to a space. And that's another whole conversation that sometimes you
Yeah,
would have to take up as a sidebar sometimes when you're doing stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and it'd be
Yeah.
interesting. I'd like to hear from the
Yeah.
audience, like, what are their
Yeah.
suggestions, or how would
Yeah,
they
yeah,
approach something
we're
like
gonna
that?
have to
So,
start inviting folks to
that'd be
come on.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
know my husband's chomping at the bits. I said, honey, it's for women. Go away.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a woman. I swear, it's so
Oh,
bizarre. Yeah, no, it is. He's a very big supporter of women and making sure that we're okay, and that's great, and making sure that we succeed. But that's a cool thing. But
oh,
everybody, not all guys
yeah.
are like that. So we have to be able to be ready for folks. It'd be interesting to see how
No.
the audience or how individuals would, how they feel, what's their thought in terms of that. Because
Yeah.
starting a program to get yourself healthy, it's a big task. And if someone is not supportive of you, and especially if it's
Mhm.
your significant other, if they're in your ear saying, well, you should do this, and how come you're not doing that? So maybe we could supply them with ammunition, such as, maybe some, hey, why don't you go to this website, or give them some paperwork saying this is why we do this. I mean, sometimes it takes that little
Mhm.
evidence to say, oh, I see,
Right.
they have factual data and statistical data as to why they're doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good topic, though. What do you do when
Yeah,
the people in it, significant others,
yeah,
family
I know.
members, are
Yeah.
not in your corner when you're making a health change? And that's some people's
Yeah.
lives where they don't have that support. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason that I have the
Mm-hmm.
community support element in anything but the gym, because of the fact that yes, some people their husband or
Mm-hmm.
their kids or their whole family, they'll make the change with the person. They'll
Yeah.
they'll go shopping with them. They'll get all the healthy recipes. They're like, okay, they'll meal
Mm-hmm.
plan, meal prep together. It's just a whole family thing that happens. However, and this is another client.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she lived in a intergenerational home, and she didn't do the shopping. Someone else did. So when she wanted to make changes, the other person who did the shopping was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm going to get what I'm going to get." And so it was a conversation around, okay,
Oh,
well, are you
wow.
able
Okay.
to do your own shopping? And she wasn't, unfortunately. So she was kind of stuck in this box of her family member was not supportive of her change and was not willing to get like the healthy items that she asked for. And so she had to like it was hurtful for her because she was like, I'm trying to get healthier. I'm trying, yet there's almost a weight over here that she's carrying. And it's a huge one. Like
Yes. Yes.
food's like 80% of the battle
Yeah.
when you're getting getting healthy. And she had a problems getting out of the house. So,
Wow.
that was something. So it was
Phew.
how do you when your family, that's why it's so important to have community, supportive community around yourself, or wrap yourself in. If it's not going to be the family, then who are the friends that can support you?
Yeah.
Who are the outside
Yeah.
influence? This is when you want outside influence.
Yeah.
Who are the outside influences that will help you get through this
That would be
moment
very
when you don't
difficult.
have
I
that
mean,
support inside the house?
especially if someone, it depends on the mobility issue as
Mhm.
well. If they have a car, if they don't have a car, also depends on
Mhm.
walkability to a grocery store. If someone is going and doing that shopping and you can't get there because of transportation or whatever, how, that would be very, very difficult. And then not having that support, and then seeing all that stuff that you shouldn't have is going to be there in front. That would be, wow. And so
Yeah.
that would be very difficult. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
besides,
my heart ached
I
for
mean, we
her
have such things now.
because
Yes, you
yeah,
can do DoorDash or
yeah.
you can do whatever, but it all costs money, right? That's another, right? There's a cost factor there,
There you go. If
So
you
I
don't have the
guess what you
funds,
could do, or what
right.
the individual could
Yeah.
do,
Mhm.
you got to kind of see what's coming in there, see what the nutritional value is, read the boxes of the food, see what cut your losses, see what's the best thing that you can eat as opposed to not, and taking a look at what the nutritional values of what they're bringing in there. Because
Mhm.
I know, like I said, in my house, the poor children don't get, I don't buy
Oh,
soda. I don't like soda. So they don't get it. I don't like juices per se. I know, and I'm
uh,
allergic to citric acid. So, but I know folks drink it in my
uh-huh.
house. So I'll get them the orange juice. I'll buy the apple juice. But if you have somebody
Mhm.
that's not doing those things, like bread, I don't buy bread, and they're like, "Okay, can we get a loaf of bread, Nana?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." But if you had somebody that's not cognizant of that, how do you,
Yeah.
you would have to go through the cabinets and take a look and see if there's some canned tuna there, maybe, and that might not be there, or like there's
Yeah.
always fruit on my
Yeah.
table here, but I don't
Right.
eat the
Yeah.
fruit because, like I said, most is citrus. They got oranges, and and I do it. But how would you,
Yeah.
and like I said, that's a big deal.
Well, yeah, one of the
Hmm.
things we discussed is that so if that's the case, so
Okay. Okay.
she's not really in charge of
Okay.
her meal prep and
Okay.
her food. That's just the case of the situation. So, one of the things we did discuss
What
is
you
we came
get?
up with a
Get
plan
what you
that
get.
like,
Okay.
okay, so you're going to get what you get.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to look at cutting that meal in
Okay.
half. So don't eat everything on the plate. It might be like if you get like
Mm. Yeah.
something that's
Yeah.
big and unhealthy, you cut that in
Right.
half. Start cutting it in half, putting that other half away, and then just work on
Right.
eating what's in front of you. So cut your portion sizes. And if you're unable to
Hmm.
control your food and who's prepping it and what it looks like, then cut those portion
Gotta.
sizes. And hopefully that'll help because you're taking in less
Wow.
calories compared
Mm.
to eating the whole thing
I,
where you're taking in
it's so
more
bizarre.
calories.
I'm
So
I'm
yeah,
glad that,
that
you
was
shifted to that because I'm so unaware of that, right? Because living in the 21st century, sometimes you get in your own little silo and you think that everybody else is doing exactly what you're doing, and then people are still eating, are preparing things
hmm
unhealthy, and it's just so bizarre to me, right? Because that just shows, I guess that just shows our privilege. Sometimes all those new little words that we have,
yeah.
but that so the other thing I was thinking when you were saying cutting the food portions in
Yeah.
half, I would think that they might be even saying that you're wasting food. I bet you that might be even said. Why aren't you eating your all the food on your
Yeah.
plate? How would you tackle that? Besides saying
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to eat that, and I'm full. Eat it later. Take it to, yeah. You
I'm
know what I'm
gonna eat it
saying?
later.
I mean, but I'm quite sure that might would come up, and
Later.
you have to go through all of those things. And then I was thinking about while you were talking, what is the food? Was
Mhm.
it fried chicken, or I know occasionally when I make my greens, I'm still one of those persons that I'll go to the store and I'll get some salt pork because we don't eat it. I mean, we don't eat it all the time. So for me to put the salt pork in the greens is like, hey, maybe
Uh-huh.
once every 6 months, because because the kids are not eating those things.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at what is the food
Mhm.
that's being
Yeah.
prepared? Is it how is it always fried, or you know processed?
Uh,
Okay,
yeah, it was a lot of processed food. And
okay,
yeah, and a lot of
okay,
just from
okay.
her, it
Wow,
was a lot from what she told me, it was a lot of just unhealthy food.
wow,
So and it was just
wow,
she was in a
Okay,
hard spot. It was she was in a hard spot because she just didn't have
okay.
that she didn't have the support that she needed.
Yeah.
And yeah, my heart just ached for her. And that's what it was, doing this program I'm starting to run into like I never I
Sure.
know people are in
Yeah, yeah.
households that don't necessarily support them. I know that. However, I just didn't bring that thought over to the fitness world, or when
Yeah.
someone's trying to get in shape. I don't know why. I didn't think that, oh, there might be
Hmm.
people who
Hmm.
are in
Hmm.
households that do not support them at all when it comes to the fitness. And doing this anything but the gym program and working with certain populations, I'm finding it.
Wow.
I'm seeing
Yeah,
it, and
no, no, no. What you just said
it's
hit
different.
home to me because as I
It's
said, I
different
took
than
for
saying,
granted that everybody has, you know, that, and I don't know what I was thinking. Like I said, I guess that's kind of ignorance, kind of, because I wasn't thinking that there might not be a person that's supportive, or you might be in an environment that the food is. I mean, because Now I was thinking I hadn't fried any chicken in so long. I said, you know what? I got to fry some chicken. I wonder if I could. No, about a day ago, I was like, we haven't had fried chicken in so long. Maybe I should fry some and see if I can even cook it. Okay. Still, because, I'm so weird. My grill is on the deck. I just go outside and grill it, I take that for granted. We all take that for granted, just like you were saying. So that'd be another topic. What do you do when you have those type of influences? And if you don't have, because I'm looking here at my pantry and I'm looking at all the stuff that we have in there. Like we got so much, tuna with water and lots of, which my husband doesn't like canned veg foods, but I have it for I'm waiting for the apocalypse to come. Okay. So everybody come to my house because I got all the cans. I got 10 gallons of water. No, I am ready. I am ready. Okay. But
We'll take care of everyone.
I look at that and folks, I didn't know folks were still eating like that. Okay. I guess that's what the unhealth, we don't buy. So like if the kids want ham, what I'll normally go out and nobody really eats ham here, but I'll go out and buy a ham and then I'll cook it instead of buying the processed stuff. Or turkey. If they want sliced turkey, I'll go get a turkey breast and I'll cook it and slice it. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of messed up, but I do. But everybody doesn't do that. Wow. Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That support.
everyone who's into fitness does not necessarily have the support for change. So yeah, that's why I encourage find someone outside. If you're not finding the support inside, then find someone outside, and that could
It'd be you. It'd be you because you're the personal trainer. It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
They have.
It's,
Yeah, it could be us. Yeah, the personal
trainers,
fitness instructors.
Wow. Like
find
I said,
it.
for my folks,
Uh-huh.
it's interesting
Because
and unfortunate. As I said, I don't have many African Americans in my classes. Right, I have one. And then me, and then my family will come sometime. I know my husband takes my class. And believe me, sometimes folks ask for like gift certificates. I give them 6 months free of my class, and those folks never show. The people that win those raffles, they hardly ever show up. And part of it is, my classes are at that time. But, I tell folks, if you want to work at a different time, if you give me 5 people, we can work out. Hey, I don't care. I don't even charge for African American females. Hey, I put it out there. This is not about a charge. This is about getting healthy. Because as I said, I don't want anyone to go through what I had to go through to recognize that I was not healthy. Okay. So whatever, that's my give back to the community.
Right.
That's the reason why, like I said, I'm sitting here. I've got all these little certifications and stuff. The only thing, like I said, I've gone through the personal training. I haven't taken that test. That test is scary. That whole personal training thing is scary. I mean, Zumba has one, so I got the certification for that one and they charge just about as much as the other ones. And so I've got all those little certifications, but it is imperative that folks realize, just the small things you can do can make a big difference. Outside influences. Definitely. I like that topic because those things that you all just said, like what you said, Norma, in terms of the food that comes into your house, that's an outside influence. In terms of or how you're working out, go straight to cardio instead of warming up. The reasoning behind why we tell folks that you got to stretch and what have you and get your breathing in order before we go to the cardio. For me, I do it a little bit different than how I'm supposed to do it because Zumba is entirely different than how I do it. They want you to go straight to cardio. And I'm like, no. I'm sorry. That's why I do the goal portion of it. But
You've spoken about that. Like you kind of got in trouble for doing that.
Yeah, I'm
right?
like, you know what? Then I just want to teach her.
You
If you
don't
can't
want
let me
someone
have a
hurt.
little bit of my stuff in here, from what I've learned, then I just won't teach there. Because I've seen, a person that got disoriented in class, and we actually had, we have to be safety certified, first aid, AED, the whole gamut. And person did fall in class. She lost her balance, and think she actually think, and that's the other reason why you have to have insurance. She did her, yeah, she did. She hurt her. She hurt her.
Oh, yes.
Her wrist. I think she
Yeah.
cracked it actually. But and we had my daughter saw the whole thing, so my daughter's Zoom. I don't. That's the reason why I like doing the two people thing. It's good to have that, but it's so scary, right? And when someone can,
Mm.
lose their balance. And this was a younger person actually that lost, because my folks go up to they're 82, 83 years old still doing this stuff.
Oh.
So yeah, yeah, it's important. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
is up. I can't
Well,
believe it.
Pat,
Isn't that cool
our
though?
time, our
Yeah,
30
I
minutes
did.
is
Good
here. So
conversation.
that
Yeah,
went quick.
yeah,
That went
yeah.
quick. Yeah.
All right,
Very good
all right.
conversation. So
Thanks for being here.
thank you. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody, for
All right,
listening.
all
Have a
right. Take care.
beautiful
Thank
rest of the
you.
week
All right,
and
Nora, you take care as
can't
well.
wait to
Have a
see you
good
next
one.
time.
Bye bye.
Okay. Hey, you too. Bye, Pat.